Panhandle Prepper said I gotta make a fire. There we go. Alright, so camera's about 10 foot away. I don't have on an external mic. You can hear everything I'm saying. This little one will run everything I need it to run. Why would I really need something much bigger? Hold on just a second, I got something to say. Okay, first off, generators, they're not absolutely necessary. I'm going to be straight with you. I don't like generators. They're another thing I got to maintain, another thing I got to store fuel for. You don't go out there and start that thing up every week, it's not going to work when you need it. I mean, how important is it to keep that beer cold? By the way, this video not sponsored by Shinerbach, but it could be. And if your long-term prepping depends on a generator, maybe you need to rethink what you're doing. You know, a lot of people, they want some huge generator. And I'm fine with that. I want one too. But the thing is, those huge generators make huge noise, and they use a ton of gas. You're constantly filling them up with fuel. That thing over there, it doesn't hardly use any fuel. I can put 8 ounces, a cup of fuel in it, and get hours of use out of it. So, I don't know, there's some trade-offs there. What will it run? Well, it'll run my fridge, it'll run my freezer, it'll run Netflix so the kids will settle down a little bit. That's important. What are LED bulbs? Like 10 watts? It'll light my whole house up. Everybody wants the big generators, and I get that. If you want to have the big, huge generator that'll run your entire house, hey, more power to you. If you can afford it, and it doesn't set you back on things that are more important than a generator, go for it. One thing you have to remember, if the power goes out, leave your fridge closed. Keep that cold air trapped inside the fridge. You got extra space in your fridge, and you expect the power to go out, you expect a storm to be coming, well, get some 2-liter bottles or some 1-liter bottles, just some soda bottles, Gatorade bottles, whatever. Fill them up with water and freeze those ahead of time. And I'm telling you, those big old blocks of ice are going to hold that cold for a long time. Long enough that, well, you're probably going to be able to eat the food and cook it that's in your refrigerator that may go bad before it gets that opportunity to do so anyway. A lot of people wonder what size generators they need. But if you look on the back of your appliances that you use, let's say your microwave. I'll post a picture of my microwave right now. It tells you what the wattage that it pulls. It lets you know what that is. As you can see, mine is about 1500. A 2000 watt generator would be ideal. No big deal. You go to any thrift store, go to any place like that, you can buy a small microwave if you have to have a microwave. If your prepping depends on you being able to fire up the generator and run your microwave, well, just get a smaller microwave to use in conjunction with your generator. Toaster oven, that's the same way. I don't know, I'm not really convinced I need it. I got a gas stove. Why do I need my toaster oven? You know, if it's cold outside, why am I cooking in a microwave? Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's get on talking about this generator. It's a Honda. I'm a firm believer in Honda engines. They're easy to work on, they're easy to find parts for, and in my experience, I haven't had to put as many parts on a Honda. This one is small. I can pick it up, I can move this thing around with one hand. I can throw this thing in the car along with a circular saw, a few other power tools, my table saw, head down the road, and now I got power in any place I need it. Because I'm going to use this thing for a whole lot more than just prepping. Spent that money on it, I'm going to use it. The choke, you don't have to monkey around with it. You know, I don't know. I mean, what do you want me to say? It starts with one pull. I like it. They do make one of these that is a 2000. I guess in a perfect world that 2000 would be better, but it's also twice the size. The portability of this thing is what I like about it so well. And if you want to get that big, huge generator, go ahead and get it. But you'd be well served to have one of these. A small, super, super quiet generator that will run what you need. Run the things that you have to have. It's quiet, portable, and I don't know, unless you've ran a generator for hours and hours and hours all day long, you don't realize how much fuel they consume. I think that's a big place where people mess up. Pick you up a smaller generator. It'll do you some good. Okay, well, we're going to listen to a dog bark. They don't want you working on them. They're pretty sealed up. They're pretty self-contained. You just got to buzz some screws out, and you can do anything you need to them. The air intake as well as the exhaust are muffled on this one. And it is the only generator I've ever had where I could whisper to somebody standing next to me, run it full blast, and them hear every word I've said. Starts it. My God, what is that? Been perfectly quiet all day long. I do a video and they bust out a jackhammer. Here in a second a train will go by, so oh well. But anyway, let's think about the things we actually need a generator for. And those include whether or not you have kids or how much you want to be entertained. That could include keeping your internet and TV going. It probably would include lights. We've got oil lamps. We've got kerosene lanterns. We've got everything we need. There's no reason for us to have an electronic light if the power's out. But I'm lazy. I like to go over, flip a switch, and boom, the whole world lights up. So I run a couple lights. LED lights are the way to go. They run like 5 to 10 watts. Get a fairly dim one, you'd be surprised how much light that thing will put out, especially whenever you're the only one around with any light for miles. You're probably going to want to run your refrigerator, and if you have one, a freezer. These don't need to be ran constantly. Fire them up every few hours, long enough until you hear the compressor motor kick off. That means the thermostat's kicked in and it's cooled it back down to the temperature it ought to be. After that, there's no reason to have it on. I would say you might want to run it for your, to charge your phone and things like that. That's terribly inefficient though. If you're going to do that, just use the 12-volt charger in your car. While you can take this thing and charge some batteries and store some power, that's more work than what I want to do. I'm too lazy for that. To answer any questions about what size generator do I need, well, you need to take a look and figure out what you want to be able to run if the power goes out. TVs, computers, they don't use that much. Now, here goes the black helicopters. Hold on. Well, anyway, TVs, computers, you could run those on something pretty small. They're pretty low drain, and you don't need a whole lot of power to run them. I kind of like to keep my internet up because, well, I use my phone and I like to have my Wi-Fi going. It allows me to look at all y'all on YouTube, and for some weird reason I'm one of those people that likes to sit here and talk about my personal life on YouTube. Doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, there's some of you that like to do it too. This thing will sip a gallon of fuel for days. I mean days. Now I'm not going to be running it constantly non-stop, but that gallon of fuel is going to last me forever. Plus, I've used this one time for a power outage. It's whenever I did a video the other day of being on generator power. If I was smart, whenever the sun went down, well, I'd have gone to bed. Imagine that. Now, if the power goes out, you got to be at work in the morning, you'll be glad you can come out here and pull one cord, have something that's really quiet, and you'll have a light to get dressed with. Oil lamps, yeah, they're cool, but they'll never put out as good of a light and be as bright as just an electronic lamp. What I use my camera tripod, and I clamp my YouTube light on that I use for lighting the videos. It's just like one of those little heat lamp looking things that I put an LED bulb in. They're like $10. Things to go with the generator. You're going to need to take care of your fuel with this. You're going to have to start it up every week. I don't put much in it. I keep just enough in this thing for it to start up whenever I want it to. And then the fuel that I buy specifically for this generator, on payday, I dump it in the gas tank and then go refill that can with fresh gas. You're going to have a dedicated extension cord because you don't want to go hunting for one in the dark in the middle of a freezing rain. You're going to have a dedicated set of lights and power strip, because once again, you don't want to go searching for that stuff in the dark with a flashlight in your mouth. One other thing, if you do buy a small generator, this is something to look for. These two ports, there's a cable that goes in these to daisy chain them. So if I buy another one just like this, or one that accepts the same ports, I can run them in parallel. So instead of having 1,000, I've got 2,000 watts. You'll want one that has the ability to do an economy throttle. That way it's not running full blast the whole time. It just runs as fast as what it needs to be able to maintain the electrical current. And you'll want a safety switch that automatically kills it in the event of an overload. We don't want to roast something. These things cost too much money. I'll put a link to this, extension cords, lights, and the other accoutrements to go with the generator below in the description. They're linked to Amazon. I don't put them on there to try to sell y'all a bunch of stuff, but I will say, if you do order something from that, I do get a small commission. I think over the last 3 months, I killed it. I made 98 cents. I made about $1. So I'm certainly not getting rich off of it. But who knows? Maybe maybe one of these days the channel gets a little bit bigger. Maybe it can buy a knife or something that I can use. Maybe it can, I don't know, maybe it can help the channel out. But anyway, if you're looking to buy something, click the links below. As long as you buy something within 24 hours after you click my link, I'll still get a little bit of commission. If not, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just look it up and buy it from wherever you want. There's probably cheaper and better places to buy this stuff than on Amazon anyway. I'm not for sure, but I imagine there's a bunch of stuff that I forgot about. Ask any questions in the comments below. Be sure and hit the like button because you're that freaking awesome, and subscribe if not already. And until next time, stay safe.